Hey, Keyforge Corner here. So today we're going to talk about the Flex, one of the cards in Age of Ascension which I've seen has gotten a lot of hype. And I do see how this card could get hype, but personally I don't think it's even that good of a card. Now, let's get to the card description itself first, alright? So, the Flex. Play. Choose a ready, friendly Brom Gnar creature, exhaust it, and gain Amber equal to half its power, rounding down the gain. So, the problem I see with this card is apparent from the very beginning. Choose a ready friendly Brom Gnar creature. Now, to anyone who has been playing this game before Age of Ascension, this type of phrasing is quite similar to a lot of the Mars cards from Call of the Archons, where all of them said friendly Mars creature this, friendly Mars creature that. They were all about having those Mars creatures ready, you know? That was their whole idea. They had like what? 3-4 cards in order to ready their creatures. And even though they had all of this readying in Call of the Archons, the Mars cards which specifically mentioned ready Mars creatures were always the weaker ones of the bunch. And that's one of the reasons why I see Flex not being that good, because it's another one of those where you need to already have a ready creature. And the reason why it's even worse, let's remember it's a Brom Gnar card. Now with Mars, they had a bunch of ways to just ready their creatures and have it stay ready. The key is stay ready. Now with Brom Gnar, yes, they have a gajillion of cards which say ready a Brom Gnar creature, but the rest of the effect also states to fight with said ready Brom Gnar creature. There's just one example I can think of, and it's from Age of Ascension, which does not force you to fight right away, and it's Into the Fray. A card which only readies after you have already fought, so you either need to already have a ready creature on the field, or use a card to ready and fight, and then with this card, just have it ready. Wow! If you have 2 cards, you can just ready a Brom Gnar creature. Isn't that dandy? Now, the one big reason why people got so excited over this card was because they saw all the crazy Amber gain you can do because of cards like Lolub the Titanic, who had 11 power. That's ridiculous. That's cutting 11 in half and rounding it down makes it 5. 5 Amber out of, like, what, 1-2 cards, depending on how you look at it? That's insane. Fertility Chant gives you 4 Amber, but you have to give your opponent 2. Here, your opponent gets nothing. Here, your opponent just gets Salt. That's great. That's a good card. No, it's not a good card. It's a terrible card, because as I mentioned before, it's not easy to just ready up a Brom Gnar creature. It's tedious. You would need to have some elaborate combo with Into the Fray to just ready a Brom Gnar creature which was not placed, let's say, a few turns ago. If you placed it this turn, you need some elaborate combo to ready it, which is why it does not work so well. Now you might say, don't worry about it, Brom Gnar creatures are huge, just place a Lolub the Titanic on the field and just sit back, relax, play Flex next turn. And whilst I do agree with the fact that Brom Gnars are huge, it's not really the best idea to wait sometimes. So let's say, for example, you draw Flex first turn. It's useless, and what it's gonna do is just clog up your hand. But let's go with a bit of a nicer situation for the Flex. Let's say you didn't draw the Flex first turn, you drew a bunch of Giants, you placed them, and let's say next turn or a turn in the future, you draw the Flex. And you still have your Giants alive. No one nuked the field. There isn't that much creature destruction in Age of Ascension, so if you play Age of Ascension only, it's even more likely that you're not gonna get your field blown up. So, you have the Flex, you play the Flex, you exhaust your giant creature, you gain 5 Amber. Sounds pretty good, but it is also very situational, because it does need a very special situation for it to work well. Whereas other combos, which Brom Gnar also has, can make you just as much, if not more Amber, depending on the field situation, which is also, similar to the Flex, situational. However, unlike the Flex, even if you get those combos, it's not gonna be useless. And the last point I would like to bring up today when it comes to saying how much I dislike the Flex is that the biggest argument is, oh, there are so many huge Brom Gnar creatures, but the only huge ones are 2. We have Lolub and Groggins, in which with Lolub you get 5 Amber, with Groggins you get 4, but everything else just goes downhill. So if you have a Flex with a lot of huge creatures, congrats, maybe it's gonna work really well for you. But in a lot of Brom Gnar decks, you'll have the Flex, with, let's say, Call of the Quiet, 6 power, rounded down, it's 3 amber. Not the best amber gain for an elaborate activation requirement. And going even lower, we have a lot of 5 and 4 power creatures in this set, which, say it with me, 5 halved, rounded down is 2. So, yeah. And we also have a lot of cards which would just give you 1 or 2 amber in Brom Gnar in general. So, if the decks are super random, then it's very likely you're going to get a really, really terrible flex, which is going to give you 1 or 2 amber. So it's also not only a situational card depending on what you draw and your board, but super situational when it comes to your deck. Fertility Chant might give your opponent 2 amber, but you always get the 4 amber no matter what deck it's in. The flex, depending on what you have and how much you're willing to sacrifice and how much is possibly going to survive, you never know. Super situation. Anyway, that's my thoughts on the flex and why it's not really that good of a Brom Gnar card. There are much better Brom Gnar cards in this set, trust me. Just don't buy into the hype. Anyway, I'm the Keyforge Corner. Hope you enjoyed my little rant video. What do you guys think in the comments below? Let's discuss. I'm the Keyforge Corner. I hope you guys keep on forging those keys, and I will see you tomorrow.